The Greatest Love Story, Part 4. Lord Shiva was with Nandi, admiring a beautiful hammock he had lovingly crafted for his beloved wife. Fashioned from the most fragrant sandalwood, adorned with the rarest flowers, seashells, and jewels. Nandi, what do you think? Will she like it? He asked. She will love it, my lord, Nandi replied. Just then, the Shivganas arrived, their faces grave, their steps slow and uncertain, their eyes lowered. Shiva looked at them quizzically and asked, "Why are you back so soon? Were you not allowed to participate in the yajna?" There was pin-drop silence. None dared to speak a word. Shiva asked again, his tone most urgent. "Why are you not answering? Why this silence?" His eyes searched for his wife. And where is Sati? Did she stay back at her father's palace? Still there was no response. The Shivganas trembled, fear evident in their eyes. By now, the winds had swelled and a mighty storm was brewing. Shiva sensed something was terribly wrong. He turned to one of his Shivganas and bellowed, "Ajantrik, answer me! Where is Sati?" Tears welled up in Ajantrik's eyes, but he could not bring himself to speak. His lips quivered and his head hung low, unable to meet his lord's gaze. Incensed, Shiva placed his hand on Ajantrik's head and fell into a hypnotic trance. His eyes turned white like milk as he saw everything. He witnessed the events of the yajna unfold. The grotesque statue at the entrance, Sati's anger, Daksha's cruel insults, and finally, Sati's supreme sacrifice. Shiva's body trembled uncontrollably. His face turned a furious red, and his eyes blazed with hellfire. A horrific cry escaped his lips, a sound so terrifying it shook the earth and the heavens alike. The cry reverberated across the cosmos, jolting even Lord Vishnu in Vankut and Lord Brahma in Brahmalok. They looked on in horror, watching the heartbreaking scene unfold. Shiva tore at his hair in agonizing grief, his wails darker than the deepest night. As each lock of hair hit the ground, two of his most fearsome warriors emerged, Veerabhadra and Bhadrakali. Shiva commanded them to go to the yajna and teach Daksha and other guests a lesson that the universe would remember for eternity. Meanwhile, dread hung heavy in the air at the yajna. The guests trembled in fear, knowing that Shiva's wrath was about to be unleashed upon them at any moment. Some fled the ceremonial grounds, desperate to escape, while others stood firm, ready to face death with honor alongside Daksha. The royal army, armed with powerful weapons, surrounded the grounds, hoping to defend against the inevitable. Suddenly, a deep, menacing clarion call echoed through the air, sending shivers down the spines of everyone present. The moment had arrived. The Devas drew their divine weapons, forming battle-ready lines. As the clarion call reached its deafening crescendo, Veerabhadra emerged on the horizon, leading a nightmarish army of grotesque creatures, Rakshasas, Vetalas, Pishachas, and Nagas, the most terrifying beings from the darkest depths of Patal, walked alongside Veerabhadra and Bhadrakali. With one swift motion of his hand, Veerabhadra unleashed his macabre army, upon the guests. The creatures tore through the royal forces like mere toys. The devas, wielding their energy weapons, attempted to put up a fierce resistance, but they were no match for the sheer brute force of Shiva's army. Daksha saw his opportunity and tried to flee the battlefield, but he could not escape the vice-like grip of Veerabhadra. With a single swing of his trident, Veerabhadra severed Daksha's head from his body, bringing the king's life to a swift and brutal end. As the apocalyptic battle raged on, Shiva walked through a sea of lifeless bodies, searching for his Sati. His search ended near the fire altar, where Sati's charred body lay in divine serenity. With heartbreaking tenderness, he gathered her lifeless form, holding her tightly against his wailing heart. His tears had long run dry. His face was stoic, yet the rage burning inside him roared louder than crashing waves. The Shivganas stood at a distance, mourning this irreparable loss. Finally, Shiva rose to his feet and began to walk. He wandered through cities, deserts, forests, and plains. He walked over lofty mountains and into the deepest valleys, clutching Sati's body close to his heart. The Shivganas followed him like shadows, helpless in their attempts to console him. They tried words, they tried mantras. Nothing could reach him. Unable to bear this heartbreaking sight any longer, Lord Brahma urged Lord Vishnu to intervene. Vishnu, with his Sudarshan Chakra, cut Sati's lifeless body into 51 pieces which fell to the earth, creating 51 sacred energy points, the Shakti Pithas. When the last piece fell away, Shiva finally emerged from his delirium. He sat down by the serene banks of the river Ganga, contemplating in the calming embrace of the sacred waters. There, in that moment of clarity, he realized the devastation his wrath had caused at the Yagna. He saw how both he and Sati had failed to fulfill the tasks for which they had taken human form, succumbing instead to pride and rage. Shiva longed to return to his spiritual form and reunite with Shakti. And so, on Mount Kailash, he entered deep meditation once again, until his soul once again merged with Shakti.